Hello, everyone. How we doing tonight? Sorry, I thought I was in the vibe for that song, but it started pissing me off at the end, so I cut it a little bit short tonight. I see you changing name, Terrell. Would you like me to start calling you Tricks now? Kind of like it, by the way. I like the change. Always feels good. Gonna give you a sec to answer here. All right, Tricks. I'll get take some getting used to for sure, but I got you on that. Welcome, guys. As I said, a little smaller of an audience tonight, but I see you all. See you all in here trying to learn, or might just be trying to get a different opinion, right? That's how I started these. I actually wanted to keep track of my own outlooks and see what other people thought and see how many times I was right, how many times they were right. Why were they thinking different things than me? So even if you're not following these outlooks for the insight they give you, well, I still respect you and I am very glad you're here. But let me just confirm that you guys can see my screen so we can get right into it. We have a beautiful week ahead of us. Give me a quick confirmation. You guys can indeed see my screen. All right. And while you guys are checking that, and I am stalling so that I can get the news up on my chart because I did not prepare that in advance. You guys, I'm just talking here. And here we go. All prepared in advance. You can see our news for the week. We definitely have a very nice week. By the way, if you're wondering, I only look at high impact news events. I use Forex Factory, which is linked in the official links in the Discord if you want to check it out. I only filter for red and gray folder news. Gray folder are bank holidays, red folders are news to be considered high impact. I like to follow their list. I agree with their list. And also, since I'm only trading indices and futures indices, I'm only interested in news in relation to the US dollar. Sometimes in some very specific world events, maybe some other currencies will affect the macroeconomics from for our US stocks, but in general, I want to tend to stick to the US news. Orange on Friday was a little more aggressive. Yes, definitely. I saw it last Friday. I don't remember who it was. It might have actually been Julian that told me, oh, yeah, but there was a news then. It actually was an orange news. And basically, grouping all of these together is well, basically filtering for only red news events is an easy way for me to keep my eyes on the prize. I am interested in inflation rate data and any sort of things related to Jerome Powell. Those are the main things that I have interest in, but I only see news events as time parameters. I don't see them as price to affect price in any sort of way. Do they? Well, we can have a long, long conversation about how fundamentals affect the market. I believe it's important for every trader to be well rounded when considering long term trading, long term investments. But as day traders, I do not care what the news says. I am only looking for specific things to happen at specific times. And I use these to filter out days when I want to engage with price and days where I don't want to. And this allows me to have a semi normal schedule where my free time can be allowed to concentrate on other projects. So just to give you guys some insights into the reasoning behind the news events and why I filter these and why this week I'll only be trading Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, always waiting for the news events. Now, for my students, they might be questioning and saying, wait, you're going to be trading the day before FOMC. Yes, only because there is a high impact news event, sorry. And I will be concentrating on the AM session, more specifically that little 1 hour time window, that 9:30 to 10:30. I'm going to be looking for setup there. If there is no setup there, I might push it to 11:10, right? Look at that last 10:50 to 11:10 macro. If you've been in the Discord for a while, you might notice that I utilize that macro a lot for basically late New York reversals, but nothing past that. That's going to be my framework for the week. That's when I'm going to be looking at charts. If I tell you guys I don't trade that day, I don't look at charts that day. So you're still up to ask me any questions. I'll open my chart, look at it for a second, but my accounts are never going to be connected to any sort of brokerage because I do not trade those days. Follow your rules no matter what they are. But on that note, expecting a classic week, I want to see very, very definite delivery inside. So I don't want to see some bullshit. I want to see Monday accumulate, hopefully, but it can still form the low of the week, right? We've seen through data. So Monday form an important point or accumulate, manipulation, distribution throughout the whole week, Friday retracement to a close. I want to see, and I expect to see, a very nice week. Now, once we start diving into price, this is where it gets a little more tricky for this week. We are technically we are starting the third week of September, but based on my rules, we just finished the first full week of September, all right? And yes, you can see here, September started from this candle, and this is the 3rd of September, all right? Don't question it too far. It is just the name I give to the specific weeks. But what have we done yet in September? Well, we've opened, expanding into a low, retracing into very key levels, right? You can see it as premium and discount. Maybe you utilize OTE, which should be on the other side. Let's reverse that real quick and save that. Maybe you utilize OTE and notice that we retraced into OTE of the previous month's range. This range I'm looking to the left is the highest high and the lowest low of August. So no matter what you utilize, you understand that this leg can be seen as a retracement. Now, to confirm that idea, we had to invalidate our premium array, which we have done on both assets. So to me, the idea is clear. We are going higher, right? And doesn't take a genius to see where basically they're already on ES, and NASDAQ could form SMT at this level, being the weaker asset the majority of the time, these recent weeks, if we can say it like that. So from this point on, what do I look at? Okay, well, I have higher objectives, very clear higher objectives, right? Even if we form SMT at these highs, I'm going to expect NASDAQ to trade above here and possibly not form SMT at all because we have a bunch of swing points to the left to form SMT. If you look here and just look as proportionate, you can see that ES, once we take out this liquidity, will be very close to its all-time high, while NASDAQ will be much further to its all-time high, right? Just look at the percentages. And of course, NASDAQ is more volatile and could catch up, but chances are we are going to see some form of SMT form if we do end up trading higher here. But we have very clear buy-side objectives. This is what I was trying to pinpoint. Very clear buy-side objectives, very low resistance up until last month's high, right? This swing high above we see is last month's high. So very low resistance up until that point. And then, as we always say, we're bullish until some sort of retracement starts, and then we can start viewing some possible retracement objectives. Now, specifically for this week, what can happen? As we always say, we can expand higher first, but we can also start lower. You have to be able to read order flow and to understand that the high impact news events have an impact on the week, right? And yes, it kind of says it in the name. That sounded smarter in my head than it sounded out loud, but we really have to be on side with the weekly narrative, the weekly order flow, which we all group into a weekly profile. Now, does that mean that I am trying to see, will it go up first? Will it go down first? No, because I don't care. No matter, I want to be ready for the opportunity. So I'm creating if-then statements in my thought process. So if we start the week by going up, and when I say start the week, I'm looking at Monday and I'm looking at Tuesday overnight session because I'm starting to trade Tuesday morning. So I need to know what my plan is by then. So once I see that trading, when I say start of the week, that's what I mean. Just wanted to give you guys some insights as that wasn't very clear. But if I see the start of the week go lower, what am I going to look for? Well, first off, I'm going to look for longs in this inverse fair value gap. If I see us going lower aggressively, so for example, Monday expands lower, then I might look for some possible, well, I will allow it to trade into this gap. I won't invalidate my long idea just because it trades below the low of this inverse fair value gap, My true invalidation level is right past these lows. So more specifically, this low is my invalidation level for any long ideas, because we could come and trade above here and then decide to continue our expansion lower. We've seen it multiple times through Power of 3 that we open and very aggressively expand, so we have to retrace to our opening price to then continue lower. If you look at 4-hour Power of 3s, right, more specifically in the afternoon, you'll see it happen way more often. You'll notice what I just said happens very often in the markets, and don't worry, there is also data coming for that specifically. So long ideas, looking for an early week retracement lower would be the best case scenario to then have a very bullish week. That is if we are living in a dream world, and very often we are not, especially with the fact that we will be switching contracts. Well, it has switched. I did not look at the open interest. I'm going to look at it specifically on Tuesday, but I'm pretty sure that with the weekend, most big players have rolled over their position into our new contract. So we will probably be using the new contract. Are any of you guys unfamiliar with the logic we utilize to figure out which contract we trade on that last week of the contract and that first week? Because I can go back over it with you guys. It's been a while and we've had a lot of new members join. Not seeing anyone type, so I'll take that as a no, but don't be scared to revisit that idea later on if you guys want. It'd be my pleasure to get into it. But plan for the week, very straightforward, right? Looking for a retracement lower into an expansion higher. And I will only consider short opportunities if we start the week by going higher. And as I always say, looking for a high of week candidate. What is that? I need a key level. I need SMT to be present. And I need it to be at a key time. And I'm considering sessions as well as day of weeks. I use data to understand what is going to happen. And speaking about data, I see a few early access members in here tonight, and you'll notice that in about 15 minutes, there will be a new announcement posted in the early access member area, because the app is now available online. And you guys will all be able to access it, and within a week or two of debugging, that is the goal. I can't say for sure how long. It will be published it will be launched to the public, available for anyone to access. So if you were in this Discord awaiting that app, it has finally come. And just a month later, after the idea came, we're going to have a final product to launch for all of you guys. So hopefully you all will have a look and enjoy and see the value in that data and how you can utilize it. Do we have any questions about the analysis, right? Pretty straightforward week. We're bullish, expect a continuation, early week retracement. Clear as always. All right. Well, on that note, I wish you all good luck trading. If you're trading before Tuesday, as always, all the PA reviews will be posted right after this call. We're looking at 3 PA reviews this week, so do take that opportunity. As I said at the beginning, even if you're already a profitable trader and you don't even trade close to how I do, sometimes getting insights from how other people think, or sometimes it might be contradictory, you become a better trader. You can refine your edge. Always a pleasure, Magic. Glad to see you're in here at all times, working hard. Literally why I jumped in. Well, see, Joker, that's the best. Literally the best. Because you gain some insights sometimes, right? It's not about who's the better trader. It's about different mentalities, different analysis ways, I guess methods would be the better word for it, and seeing what works well in what conditions. And that's how you get better. You can refine your edge by utilizing other people's understanding to your advantage, or to steer clear sometimes. Glad you guys appreciated it. It's always a pleasure. Glad to see you all in here. As I said, a little bit of a smaller audience tonight, but always happy to see you. Have a great night, guys. We'll see each other on Tuesday for our PA review. Y'all have a good night.